Tonight we're going to have chicken and mushroom with garlic and sun-dried tomatoes with a little bit of bacon and Asiago cheese, cream. It's going to be a cream sauce, and instead of putting it over pasta noodles, flour, we're going to use the Pasta Zero shiritaki spaghetti noodles. I like the Alfredo noodles too. Those are really good, but my store didn't have those in today. So we're going to have a pasta dish tonight. Only a non-pasta, low-carb dish. So I started off with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm still using that coconut spread. I've got that in the skillet. Got it good and hot. And then I'm going to add the chicken. Whoop. As usual, I have my chicken on my handy dandy paper plates. The chicken is cut up into bite-sized pieces. I like that because it's easier to get it to cook through. So now I'm going to cook the chicken, and I'll show you what the chicken looks like after it's nice and golden brown and fully cooked. I want to take a second to talk about these noodles. It doesn't matter what brand of shiritaki type noodles you get. There's various different brands. Again, this is one that is just at my local grocery store. But shiritaki noodles, they are made out of, main ingredients is, there's chickpea flour and konjac flour. Some of them are made with tofu. But for this bag that I have right here, half the bag is a serving. And in one serving, there's 15 calories and only 1 carb. So if you're super hungry, like this is enough for 4 servings right here in this bowl. So, you know, if you just wanted straight up pasta noodles, you could eat this whole thing and you're looking at 4 carbs and 60 calories. Of course, that's not the case tonight. But I've had a lot of people complain that they smell funny and they look funny. The trick to these noodles is that you put them in a colander and you rinse them out and rinse off that water that they're stored in. That's just part of how they come. That's just part of the noodles. But then you take a paper towel and you want to wring them out. They hold water very well. So you want to just, like I said, just with this paper towel, just squeeze and soak out as much of the water as possible. And then when you're done with that, you're going to want to cut them because for some reason they are way long. So this is just one noodle right there. So what I usually do is I take about half of them and then come on, I take the knife and I'll just cut, and cut. So then that way they're broken up, and it's definitely more manageable when you're eating and you're not looking like Lady and the Tramp from that cute movie. Unless you want to do that with your significant other. But here again, I'm going to cut them and cut them. And now I'll set these aside and then I will add them to it at the end. Okay, the chicken is done. I've pulled it out of the skillet and I've pulled it into another bowl that I'll use to store the food in the refrigerator. Now let's get ready for the mushrooms. Okay, I've got the chicken out, and this is just a little bit of broth and oil that's left in there with all the drippings from the chicken. And again, I use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I just like them better. They're a lot more juicy. And this is probably about 3/4 of a box of, small box of mushrooms. I'm going to put those in there. I'm going to saute that, and I'm going to add some garlic. Sometimes, I don't know, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Probably about 3 teaspoons of garlic, maybe 4. And I'm going to stir that. I'm going to get that going until the mushrooms have softened up. And when that's done, I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes. And this jar of sun-dried tomatoes, this is 8 ounces, or well, 8.5. I use about half of this, and I'll use a fork to pull it out of the jar with, and I'll make sure just maybe like a tablespoon worth of the oil goes into the skillet, just to kind of give it some extra flavor. Okay, so the mushrooms are brown, the garlic is in there. So now I'm going to add half of this jar of sun-dried tomatoes. And like I said, about a tablespoon of the oil, just to give it some extra flavor. And now I'm going to saute that just a little bit longer. And I'll add a little extra salt and pepper. And the mushrooms and the sun-dried tomatoes are mixing very well, playing nice together, and it smells wonderful. So I'm adding, I don't know, about a half cup of the bacon bits that I made the other day. Remember whenever I said this was going to last me 2 weeks? Yeah, I don't think it's going to quite make it. But I'm going to mix that in there. And then I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of red wine to this, just to help deglaze the bottom of the skillet. And I'm going to stir that and let that work its magic for a little bit, and just kind of keep rubbing the bottom and let the red wine help pull the pieces of chicken and mushroom and garlic, help kind of get it off the bottom of the pan. I'm going to get it deglazed, and I'll show you what's next. I've added the chicken back to the skillet. I'm going to put just a little bit of thyme on it, about a half a teaspoon. I'm going to mix it all up again. Now I'll tell you, the spoon that you see me use all the time, growing up, this was our Kool-Aid spoon. Mom used this spoon to make Kool-Aid, and somehow I kidnapped it from her house along the years, and it makes the best stirring spoon when I'm cooking. So don't tell on me, but I love this spoon. It's sturdy, it holds up to the heat pretty well, actually. Even though, like I said, it was made to be a Kool-Aid spoon, but, you know, it's part of refurbishing. I am refurbishing this spoon and recycling it to give it a new purpose. Now I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes and let the flavors all mix together. It's got the garlic and the tomatoes and the chicken and the mushrooms, and it smells so good. Okay, I've added about a 1/4 cup of Asiago cheese. I buy the Laughing Cow kind. And what I did was, it's the kind that comes in little triangles. I can't seem to find like shredded Asiago cheese, so I just buy the soft Asiago cheese from the store. And I'm going to add about a half cup of heavy whipping cream and about a cup of almond milk. You can use all of the heavy whipping cream if you want, but you know, like I said, I trying to watch fat and carbs and be clean eating all at the same time. But it's working because I'm down 2 pounds. Whoop, whoop. So, now, like I said, I'm going to add the heavy whipping cream. That's about half. Let's do about 3/4 cup. There we go. 3/4 cup of that and about a cup of almond milk. Now, I made the mistake of getting vanilla, which is great for my coffee, but it's kind of whenever you're cooking, so you might want to pay more attention than I did. And get the plain almond milk. So now I'm going to stir this up, and I'm going to bring it to a boil and let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And I will show you how that looks at that time. It's boiling now still, but I want it to reduce a lot. So it's not boiling quite enough. Let me give it a couple minutes to boil and then I will reduce it. Okay, now it's boiling really well. And to reduce it and get the get the Alfredo part, I don't know, I call it Alfredo cream sauce, Asiago cream sauce, whatever term you want to use to be proper. To get it, I like it to be thicker. So now I'm going to turn it down to simmer. And I will let this simmer for about 15-20 minutes. And I'll get back to you then. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It has reduced to, I don't know, not quite half, maybe a third less than what it was, but that's what it looks like. And I went ahead and, because the skillet is too small, I took the noodles and I warmed them up. So now what I'll do is just pour this on top of the noodles. You can either eat this by itself, or like I said, eat it over noodles. I prefer to eat it over noodles. Let me get this stirred up for you. Okay, got it all stirred together and mixed up. And here you have it. Sun-dried tomato, mushroom, bacon, garlic, pasta sauce with low carb, very, very low carb, clean eating, lower calorie than it could have been. Give me a thumbs up. Have a good night.